Hey guys, BJ at Basil's Truck and Camper here in Montgomery, Alabama. We're going to look at our utility trailer designs, and I'll go through how it's designed differently and why we do it. Alright guys, BJ at Basil's Truck and Camper. Apologize, you are going to hear some grinding and possibly some hammering on metal in the background. Welders doing a couple of replacement, and unfortunately for you guys, this is when I have time to do the video. So let's look at this trailer right here. It is a 6.5 by 12 tandem axle, but we're looking at the overall design of the trailer, and I'll explain to you the differences and why we have them built that way. One of the words you're going to hear me say quite a bit is going to be tube. So anywhere we can replace tube for angle, for the most part we do it. There is one exception to that, and I'll go over that. So starting at the front of the trailer, this trailer's got a 2-inch coupler, a 2,000 pound post jack. This one's got a 7-way plug on it because it does have trailer brakes on one axle. All of our tandem axle utilities we started years ago just go ahead and order in that with one brake axle. The weight that you're going to be putting on a tandem axle justifies having that brake installed. So this has got a 2x4 A-frame tube tongue. On our single axles, you'll see actually a center member added that'll make it a triple tube tongue, but on the double axles, this is a 2x4 A-frame. The tongue does wrap down the side all the way to the front axle, give the extra stability under the trailer, under the frame. Also right here, we'll look at the 2x3 rectangular tube and top rail. Replacing that angle or C-channel on the tongue as well, you'll take flexibility and twist out of the trailer. So it helps strengthen. Tube doesn't twist like the angle, and even C-channel twist, I-beam twist as well. But the angle iron and the C-channel, it'll twist quite a bit on you as you're riding down the road, hitting bumps, potholes, even just walking around on the trailer. Those trailers twist quite a bit, unloading, loading equipment. Trailers are very unstable. So this one's got the 2x3 rectangular tube and top rail. And you'll see some manufacturers where they use a 2x2 or a 2x3 tube top rail. But then you'll also see them do a 2x2 angle top rail support. Now we're not going to do that on any of our trailers. Our trailers are always going to come with a 2x2, if not, in some cases, a 2x3 tube and top rail support. Just like this one right here, 2x2 tube and top rail support. Even using a 2x3 tube and top rail to take the flexibility out of the trailer, keep it from wanting to fold up like a taco. If you use 2x2 angle on the top rail supports, that's the next point that it's going to flex and stress at. So, and we do repairs here. As I said, our welder now is doing a couple of replacement. So we get to see a lot of different trailer brands on how they do things. One of the larger ones we see do a tube and top rail, and then they do that 2x2 angled top rail support. Over the years, what happens is you'll actually see the frame start to crack right here, because that's the next stress point on that trailer, and it just cracks off flush with the top of the frame. We fixed several of those. I have myself. When I first started here, I bounced back off the counter and did quite a bit of welding. So I've seen it firsthand. I see them as they come in when I'm writing up the tickets for repair. If you have a tube and top rail, also make sure it's got a tube and top rail support. So, and a lot of times that's the price difference. People want to know maybe our trailers are $50 or $100 higher than the competitors. Well, it's because they're built different. Built a little heavier, built out of different materials, built with better craftsmanship. So there's a lot of things that go into account when you're looking at a trailer. It's not just about the numbers on the paper. Check them on how they're built. We do have ours built for the most part, with a 2x3 angle frame, unless it needs to be built heavier. And we don't do tube on the frames a whole lot because it makes the trailer heavier overall, and it also raises the deck height. So if this trailer was a tube and frame, and I've got one sitting next to it, I said we don't do it a whole lot, but we have had some built with all tube frames. It raises the deck height to where the top of this angle is on this trailer. So it ends up raising the deck height about 1 inch. And what that does is even though that's a heavier trailer, but it also creates issues on loading, especially mowers, low center of gravity equipment. They'll hang up on the rear end. And you can overcome that by having a trailer built with a dovetail, but that also then lowers your clearance on that rear end of that trailer, where if you go through dips or you go through a drain or something like that, that rear end of that trailer is going to drag. So we prefer just having them built with a 2x3 angle frame, and then just having them built with a flat deck. A lot of people don't like dovetails because they will impede on your loading platform also. So they just rather just have their 100% of their trailer flat. So moving to the back, this trailer's got steel smooth fenders, teardrop with fender braces. This particular one's got black mod wheels, brakes on one axle, as I mentioned. LED lights with light boxes. Try to make these lights last as long as possible. They get enough abuse as it is. So on this ramp gate, tubing on the ramp gate. 1.5 inch tubing, much stronger ramp gate. You can feel the difference even when you're just letting the trailer gate up and down. I always kind of make a joke and tell people, when you're trying to lift up an ankle gate, you pick up 6 inches on one side before the other side finally decides to get off the ground. We've not had our trailers built with angle gates in probably at least 20 years. Kind of an old school thing. They're very flimsy, very weak, and they do flex and bend over time. See a lot of trailer gates come in here, since we do service trailers, that all of the uprights in the gate are bowed just from years of use, not even necessarily abuse, just use. Side-by-sides, four-wheelers, lawnmowers, and they're all getting bigger and heavier. So we have all our trailers built. If the manufacturer doesn't do it, which most of them, the ones we're going to deal with, they're going to use tube because they're building a higher quality trailer anyway. But if we don't, that's definitely one of our requests on our specs. We require that it be designed with a tube gate. Now this manufacturer was already doing a tube gate, and he also puts ladder runners in there. So if you've got anywhere from a lawnmower to a side-by-side wheel spacing, you're going to be covered on those supports, making sure you've got plenty of supports for your tires driving up and down that expanded metal. So this is a 6.5 by 12 tandem axle, very, very stout trailer. I'll go over everything again, just give you a quick rundown on it. 2x4 A-frame tube frame, 2x3 tube and top rail, 2x2 top rail supports, 1.5 inch tubing in the gate. So all those small changes add up to a very big difference in how long your trailer is going to last you and how you're going to be able to use it. So that's how we have them built at Basil's Truck and Camper. If you found this useful, help us out, help us grow. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're looking for a trailer, check us out at basilstc.com or swing by.